Central Valley Golf Course. It's a beautiful fall evening, October 13th, 1989, Friday night. Tomorrow morning something really exciting is going to start out here. They're going to start digging a new nine.
Okay, and why don't we give them a little tour of the course to start with?
Alright, come with me.
Okay, this is hole number 1. I assume the way it's set up, this will remain as number 1.
Do you want me to drive? Would that be better?
Okay, that's number 1, which is facing north. You can see in the background is some heavy equipment, which we'll get a closer look at later. That's where the 9 will be. Okay, this is from the number 2 tee box, which eventually I think will be number 16. One of the more demanding holes in the course right now. Golfers out there.
No, be nice, Ron.
What are you taking my picture for?
Well, we just wanted to know if you're enjoying your evening.
Oh, lovely.
Good. Are you excited about the new 9?
Oh, you bet.
All right. We're excited about it too. We're just going to camcord some.
Are ya?
Uh-huh.
That's great.
All right. Well, have a nice round.
We will.
Okay. Hi. Are you having a nice time? No? Oh, excited about the new 9?
Yes.
Okay, well, we'll probably see you on this later.
Okay.
Bye. Now we're looking back towards the tee boxes on 2. It's a long hole. And way up there is our wonderful green that nothing stays on. Hopefully that'll change. This is still number 2.
This is prospects of number 17. I think it's about a 150-yard hole. It'll be downhill. It doesn't look like it's going to be too much fun to play either. This is now number 3. It's a tee box. And it will be number 18. Clubhouse in the background. Lovely hole to play with a south wind. Focus this in a little better. There's some golfers on the green right now.
This is a closer look at number 3 green. And the nice little sandbox is right in front. Here we have the tee box, the men's tee box on number 4. This will be hole number 10, I believe. This is hole number 4 just off the ladies' tee box here. Nice long hole.
Okay, we're about 200 yards out from the green right now. We're still on number 4. Some trees. I've seen a lot of people in the trees.
Here's a pretty shot of coming into the green on number 4. This is a pretty sight all year, but especially in the fall.
Your favorite hole?
My favorite hole. We're looking at the men's tee box on 5. It's a long hole right along the road. go down that way now.
Okay, we are still on 5. This is the fairway. Get down to the green. There's the out of bounds to the left, and there's a little trouble on the right once in a while. I don't know how well we can picture this, but this will be where our other 9 holes will be. This is across the road to the north. Some heavy equipment coming into view. And it will be starting tomorrow, I believe. Somewhere in the area of a 2.5 to 3 acre lake going up in this vicinity someplace. Now this is number 5 green. Testy little thing.
I'm standing on the tee box, number 6 hole. There's a lot of time that you're looking right up into that sun and can't see a thing. It's a short hole, but that doesn't mean it's easy. This is the green on number 6. Nice little sand trap on either side. And if you go over, that's no fun either. Walking off 6, you go right over to the tee box. This is the men's tee box on 7. And of course it's only right. The women have a little advantage up here.
Okay, this is the fairway to 7. It looks like a relatively simple hole, but it's one of the more demanding holes on the course right now. In the background you can see our clubhouse. And this is the green to 7. You can see why it is such a difficult hole. It's comb green. Little bunker in front. A little closer look at the clubhouse. This is a shot from the number 8 tee box looking down the fairway. It's about 185, 87 yards. Little par 3. Everybody's favorite hole. This is the green to number 8. Well, it's relatively tough par 3. And over in the background you can see the tee box to number 9, which will stay 9, I believe.
This is the fairway on number 9. The lady out there is hitting from about 120 yards. We'll go up and take a look at the green.
This is number 9 green. Fairly large green. A couple of traps protecting it in front. A little trouble in the back with the grass and stuff.
We're now at the northwest corner of what used to be a bean field. Give it 2 years, and it's gonna be nice and green. That equipment's just sitting there ready to roll. You see the clubhouse in the background probably.
standing in what I assume is about number 3 fairway, looking down at the heavy equipment. Now this will come from this direction. Could be the tee box down in there someplace. There'll be houses in this area. That little hill over there. And all along in this area, I think there will be houses. Bright sun.
Here's one last view of the bean field. Looking off towards the clubhouse and the existing course. And there's that equipment. Tomorrow we'll come out and see how they're doing. You betcha.
When's the big project start?
We're going to start tomorrow morning around 8 o'clock. The National Guard boys will come in and push all the black dirt off of our green and tee sites. And after they get that done, then Monday morning, Merlin Lytle will come in with his, he's the contractor we bid to do the dirt work for us. And he'll come in and begin excavating the lake and peeling the black dirt off and putting the fill in the proper places. And we're on our way.
Excited?
Yeah, I really am. We finished the surveying today. We've got the routing approved. Now it's just a matter of letting these professionals do their work and overseeing it, making sure that the proper amounts of dirt are put in the proper places. But other than that, let them go.
So you get to sit back for a while before you...
Well, not really. We'll be doing some surveying along with them and making sure that what we have surveyed is an actual feasible project as far as aesthetics and drainage and things like that. You know, you always cause some problems whenever you change the contours, and I'm sure we will over there. We're still waiting to see the property lines defined and the homeowners too, and that'll make a big difference for those things.
So everything is subject to change for a while.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Through this fall and even into next spring.
And the water system will go in next spring?
Water system will, hopefully we'll get the finished grading done by the 1st of June next year, and then the water system will go in during the month of June. And that'll give us the end of July, through the end of July and all of August to finish grading the season. Then we'll hit some golf balls, play golf in 91.
Good. You're excited, I'm sure.
Big time.
By
And,
the
to take it from conception, you know, last winter to actual project start is really fulfilling. It's hard to even imagine. I'll believe it when I see it in the morning.
A lot of hard work went into it.
Yeah, it's been a long struggle, but it's going to be worth it.
Good.
It'll be nice.
We're anxious to play it.
So am I.
Say, Mike, by the way, would you like to introduce yourselves to the people in case anybody here doesn't know you?
All right, my name is Mike Smith. I'm the superintendent of Central Valley Golf Club on the grounds, and I'm also the project supervisor for the 18-hole expansion.
Thank you. Working people. Hi, Jean.
I'm not going to smile.
Pardon me?
I'm not going to smile.
You don't have to smile. You never do. I don't know why you should be any different tonight.
It was only with my glasses on.
Oh, let's see. Smile at me. Come on. One little bitty smile.
I can't smile with my glasses on.
Oh, well,
I
take-
got my ears, got to hold them up.
Take the darn things off. Are you excited about the big events tomorrow?
What big event is that tomorrow?
Well, when the dirt starts to get moved and...
Tell them I come out and take pictures.
Sure.
Did they notify?
Pardon?
Somebody notify?
No, we're going to be out here taking pictures.
Oh.
Oh. Let's go see Levon. Now, what do you think about tomorrow?
She gonna go try roller skates tomorrow.
Are you excited about the new events, the big events tomorrow?
It's going to be real great.
Good. Say, John, how are you going to like to have 9 more holes that you can whirly bird? Your clubs?
Oh, that'd be nice.
This is the new addition to the course, to the clubhouse this year. Dirt is finally being turned over. Not much activity yet today. But we'll be back and check progress next week.
We were out here earlier this fall. I think it's been October since we've been camcording, and we camcorded the course to start with across the road, and now we want to pick up a little history of what how the original course got started. And you understand you're one of the first original members, or
I'm
the first original member, or
there were 5 of us that came in at the same time, Mort. It all happened at after a Lions Club meeting. A bunch of us played pitch. I was going down to Parmar to play golf with my kids, and we thought, well, it'd be kind of nice if Hartford had a golf course. And so one thing led to another, and we had Gus Kolb, who was superintendent of schools here at that time. He wasn't one of the fellows. He did a lot of footwork for us going between us and Washington, D.C. And so in the fall of 1968, this 72 acres with the acreage, another 72 over there came up for sale. It was the Ranney property, and we got together with a fellow by the name of Mr. Bill Saper, and he bought the whole works, and then we bought this 71 plus acres, however they describe land, from him for $21,076. And we just started an account and borrowing money from the bank just on our own, and started on not knowing a darn thing about developing a golf course. Got a hold of Gene Ryder, who is the superintendent at Minnehaha Country Club, and put our fate in his hands. And the end result is what you see now, plus with our favorite person around here now, the Chinaman, Chink.
Done a lot of work for him.
You bet. He can grow grass on a billiard ball. But that's the first part of the history, and I'm cheating a little here with my notes. We went to it with Gene. At first, we had to authorize at our first annual meeting, which was, can you believe, I couldn't believe it until I got in the old archive, was held on the 26th day of December in 1969. That was our the first meeting of, because the FHA put it to us that we had to have 140 members, basically memberships or certificates sold basically in this area. And our first meeting to get things going, and at that meeting we were authorized to borrow $100,000 from the FHA. Well, the FHA didn't see it that way. They approved lending us $87,500. And the first 3 or 4 times we sent in our application was disapproved, but the 5 of us had a little over $100,000 against it. We all borrowed on personal notes from Community Bank at that time, and we had a good in there. Thanks to Mr. Pearl Doss, we wouldn't have been able to get this thing going. But the original 5 were Billy Hogan, certificate number 1. We drew to see how the certificates came out. I was number 2. Jan and I are number 2. Number 3 is PD Doss. Number 4 is Adrian Pearson. Number 5 is George Sassis, postmaster at that time. And so that basically is how we got going. Floyd Hall bid the clubhouse in. The clubhouse came in at $29,975 because the FHA says we couldn't spend more than $30,000 for it. And so what you see, we cut corners, but adequate clubhouse. We had a $10,000 addition.
So you originally started with the prime piece of land, or?
Wasn't really prime. Very weedy. The weed board had more complaints probably against this land than the average amount of land in Minnehaha County. There was a fence line that went across, I don't know, it looked like it probably divided 20 acres up on the north end. And many people said that pasture was virgin soil. And when we hired the work camp boys to come in, and they had 2 tractors on their, I don't know how many bottom plow, I wish I could remember. And that thing used to snort and snarl, but it would turn up what your sod or furrow. It looked like it was 2.5, 3 foot high, and it was just like it was just laying up. You could have built a sod house with it. Kind of stagnant land up there where the water pond is. I guess you would call it stagnant. I call it stagnant. It's alkali, or it had a high alkali content down in the area of the water pond, and that's why we decided to put the water pond there. Plus, that's where number 1 green is. And it's a good thing we did now, because in our new development, we put our, it's helping us out right now, because we got that little direct line, and as you'll see, I don't know if you've been over there recently, but we've got probably about 6 foot of water in our big pond over there. And that's going to be exciting times too. But another interesting fact is, our certificates were $100 at that time. Our green fees were $2 for 9 holes, $3 for all day, $3 on weekends. Our bachelor membership was $45 a year, and the married family membership was $60. So that's a few of the little things that, just to record it, not trying to be a showboat or anything, but just it's nice. I'm glad that. And the thing that's always been so nice, as far as me being a Hartfordian, and it was developed as rural recreation, I'd like to put it on tape. We'd be deader than a doornail if it wasn't for our good Sioux Falls members. Because we have had some, I don't know what kind of people they have that belong to the other golf courses in Sioux Falls, but I'll tell you this, if they're any better than the people we've got from Sioux Falls and Hartford, they got a sure ticket into the Golden Gate, because we've got good active members. Here's a good example, Mort, Tony Tunender.
Well, it takes a lot of cooperation to get something like this going.
And I think you kids can remember when you got down on your bare bones on work day.
Yeah.
We had some exciting times at work day and thing. Had some good times. Drank a little beer, ate a lot of food. hauled some
rocks.
weeds, hauled some rocks, got a sore back. The gals went out actually with just the doggone knife and putty or any kind of a thing, sharp edge thing, and knocked the dandelions out of there.
Remember that too.
And now they do it all with herbicides, pesticides, and insecticides. So, but that basically is the way it went. The reason our first application for the loan was refused was something we didn't have enough members. And then of course they had that was in the days of when they had the minority thing was very important.
Yeah.
And so we always kind of we covered all the bases. We had Native Americans, black, so we fulfilled everything that they did, and we tried to live by them. Now we had to buy up our FHA loan. The FHA loan was granted to us at 5%. We had to buy it up because they would not go along with us on our development. And the time was here to go. Golf is here to stay. So that would be about
Well, this is going to be
what I'd have to offer, Mort.
it's a great addition to Hartford, I think.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. It's exciting times. I get so excited when I get up there on that homeowners road. You know, things can't happen fast enough. So
Well, we're going to make a green out of that, huh?
Yeah, I can do it too.
I
Air
think-
plug. This is the number 17 green. We have cut the drainage ways for it. We've finished the tee box, and we've determined the line of play. The next step now is to shape all that fill. That's exactly what that little devil there's for.
You are going to make a green out of that.
I'm going to make a green out of that. It'll take, depending anywhere, 4 to 6 hours, I suppose, to shape that and then restake it and determine some drainage ways on it. And another 3 or 4 hours and finish roughing it in.
Looks like you got a good start.
It's the steps that every green and tee will go through the entire building of the golf course. They all start out, you do the drainage around them, get the fill you need, and then start shaping the fill. It's the very first step, but yet it's the most important step because it determines your drainage and also the playability of the green, the shape of it, and how it's played.
Basically, clay base.
Clay base. We put 3 different layers then on it after that. We put a 4-inch P-rock layer above a drain tile system. Then we put a 2-inch coarse gravel layer above that. And then we put 12 inches of soil and sand mix, the actual root zone mix, and that's what the actual seed bed will be. So there's 12 inches. So there's 18 more inches to go on the top of that surface after we shape the fill. This is my 6th of the 9 greens that I've done, so I've already done 6.
Be an old pro by now.
Yeah, and the shame is we've only got a couple left because we're really getting imaginative fit now, and it's the fun part. This is the part that you got to think about right away.
Well, I think we'll run over and take a look at what you've done on the other side of the road. We'll come back Monday night.
Yes, and we're going to plant a tree just behind us here, which will be the first tree planted on the new addition at Central Valley Golf Course.
Great.
And it's going to set in a very strategic position, I'll guarantee you.
So everybody can have a whack.
Everybody.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
This is the lake. I understand now it's got about 6 feet of water in it, and hopefully there'll be a lot more.
By the way, this is what, April?
21st. 20, yeah, 20.
Long ways from last October.
Looks like Al's gonna have to get a real long ball retriever to get him out of this one.
We'll have to learn to scuba dive.
This is a shot in the course from the west end of the homeowners road. There's the water. We'll get a closer look at that in a minute.
This is July 2nd, and this is the same bean field that we were in last fall. There have been changes. This is a fairway, which will be a fairway someday. Start of the tee box. Across you can see a green that is basically finished on the construction part. Looks like a lot of trouble to me. This will be the pumping station here. It's just a small lake. Not even really a lake, just a small area where they'll drop the pumps in. So if they have any problems in the future, all they have to do is drain this little pond to fix the equipment. In the background there you see some of the equipment that's going to be used. Way back there is a green that's partially finished. And there's another green that's partially done. This is a view from the east side of the lake. It's approximately about 7 o'clock in the evening. Pretty sight. Sure, this will collect a lot of golf balls. This is the one you seen when we were on the other side of the lake. We just went to the south side. Got a close up of the green here. And I do believe this one's finished. They're awful close. Except for some green grass, of course. And then we can follow down the fairway. This is, I won't say what hole this is because I'm not sure which one it really is. This will be the fairway. Tee box, I think you can see in the background. 9 holes right now. This is some of the dirt that's been mowed around and around, making tee boxes and green. It's all starting to take place. Now this is the home builder's load looking to the east. There are lots staked out on both sides. I'm sure there's some people getting anxious to build.
We are now on the west side of the new 9. These are the twin tee boxes. This one leads you off around the lake to the green we just visited a short time ago. The other one here goes straight, I believe, around the lake on the other side. You can see over here that there's another green under construction. idea what the number is. This is a little different angle showing those twin tee boxes. Again, you can see the height from this side. This is the one that will angle off around the lake to the green we visited earlier. This is a little closer view of that green under construction. What you doing, Joe?
Pretty good. How are you guys?
No, what? What are you doing?
Make a couple of chimneys here.
What for?
Oh, for smoke. All that smoke we have up here.
What a good idea. Well, it's nice to see you working. This is for posterity. What are you doing?
I am making a sign
For what? Oh, good shot, Joe.
for Central Valley Golf Club.
Yay!
Just like I read it, huh?
You're terrific. Watch where you're walking. Is it going to be an all brick sign?
Yeah, it's going to be an all... Will you turn that card, Mort? Yeah, it's going to be an all brick sign.
Okay, good. This is good. What's it going to say? Just Central Valley Golf Course
It's going to say Central Valley Golf Club,
Club.
Restaurant and Lounge, Public Welcome. On both sides. It's going to go from here to here, and it's going to be 6 foot tall, about right here. And then it's going to have 3 12-foot pieces of redwood, 2x12s, engraved on both sides. Then we're going to use the lights from the existing sign that we had.
Isn't that nice?
Yes, I thought it was kind of nice. It's a good idea.
Now, why are you doing this?
I just wish it wouldn't have took me 2 months to do it. Why am I doing this? Because I tried to hire somebody to do it. Somebody to do it, I mean, and they're too expensive.
Oh, so you're donating your time and effort.
Not just me, I've had a lot of help on this.
Oh, okay.
Dean helped me with it, some. Al Miley's helped me with it, some. Gotten a lot of free advice.
Oh. And now you're getting free publicity.
No.
Anybody who needs... What is this called? What kind of work is this called?
This is manual labor.
They
A lot of the members don't know what it is.
So anybody needing manual labor done should call you?
Yeah.
No.
1-800-WHAN.
Aren't you busy enough with wife and baby?
Yeah. But they've been pretty good sports about it.
They have. Well, that's good. Is he getting that level?
Yes, he is.
Is it going to be level?
Yeah, it should be level.
Isn't too bad, and this side isn't too bad.
Well, good.
It's got to be 11 feet 10 inches apart.
11 feet 10 inches.
We got the wood from the wood shop. They did a pretty nice job.
So when are you going to get done with this? Tomorrow afternoon or what?
Well, I'm going to try and get done with it just as soon as I can. I'm looking at possibly Wednesday maybe.
Oh, good. Okay, we'll come back out and get it.
Okay.
Try next week.
2 weeks he goes to camp.
Okay. Thanks, Joe.
Alrighty, thank you.
have here is our pumping station, and this is a piece that was put together for us at PSI in Dallas,
A
Texas.
little loud. Let's just keep going now.
All right, this is like I said, it was a pumping station that was built for us by PSI in Dallas, Texas. It comes on a skid. It's all one complete package. What we just did was lower the pump heads into a wet well where we'll get our water supply. We still have yet to set the motors on here. We have a 75 and a 25 horse vertical turbine motor goes on there, and with that we can pump 1,200 gallons a minute at around 120 pounds of pressure.
And you're getting all your water from the small pond here, or is it?
All the water comes from the small pond, but the small pond is connected to the main reservoir with a 12-inch pipe below the water level in the dike. So we can feasibly use up to 6 feet of, well, more than that. We can use about 85% of the water in the entire residence. And then we get below the through pipe that comes through. We can't get it in there anymore.
You have about 100 days supply this way, for watering.
It's hard to say what kind of supply we'll have, because that always depends on the weather. And we can pump 100 gallons a minute into it continuously. There's enough water there for the summer as you're pumping into it with the well.
When did you start pumping into the main part of it?
We started March 17th, and we pumped for 97 days continuously at 100 gallons a minute to get it to the level it's at now. It's about 80%.
A lot of water. Now this will feed the lines for the old 9 and the new 9.
That's correct. And we'll water. We have a water permit with the state of South Dakota to irrigate 73 acres. 25 over there and 48 over here.
Watering more area here now on the new 9 than the old 9.
48 acres over here versus 25.
It's quite a system you got.
It's if you were a car buyer and you drove a Cadillac, you would have just bought a Rolls Royce.
Well, it sounds good.
Because this is by far the finest system on the market today. It's one of the most expensive also, but when you're looking at an overall cost and the years of service you'll get out of it and the responsibility that this system will have on it as far as furnishing water for 18 holes, it's well worth the investment.
Can you give us any idea how many feet of line that the pressure?
On the new side there's about 4.5 miles of line, and on the old side there's about 2. So there's about 6.5 miles.
Yeah, but that's with pressure all the
Oh
time.
yeah, about 35,000 feet, running feet. No, it's got plenty of power to water what we have now and eventually water everything on the old side also. It's big enough that eventually if we choose to renovate that system over there to water everything like we are over here, we'll have the facility right here to do it.
So you could water basically part of the rock all the clear away from the green.
That's right. We would have to get a water permit to do so to add acreage, but we very easily could do that with this facility. We're going to put a building on. This is the last time you'll see it. Tuesday. Today is Wednesday. On Tuesday of next week, they're going to erect a building around it, and by then we will have the mains going out of the building. The power is here. We'll have this energized a week from Friday. We will be using this a week from Friday.
Watering the old 9.
That's right. And we'll have the mains that will veer off of it to water this side in place. And there'll be isolation valves that will shut it off. We can just tap right on there, build our system, and flush and test it as we go.
Oh, great. Why don't we go up and look at one of the greens and we'll kind of explain that you've built so far.
Sure.
And how it goes. Sure. Could you kind of explain, Mike, the way you contoured and built these greens and what it consists of and the drainage system that you put in these greens compared to what the old greens were?
The old greens were basically just filled up with the native topsoil, mounded up into a shape. They eventually final graded and seeded. There was no drainage underneath other than the natural internal drainage of the soil. In the case over here, we had a little different situation. We were not able to build greens on perfectly flat level spots like we were they were able to when they constructed the original 9. So if you have a hilly area where a green has to set, you have to bring fill in, clay, which we did when we dug our reservoir. Now we brought clay in here, over 280 scraper loads into here, so that would come out to over 800 truckloads is under this green to level this out along from the high point of the hill where we started.
You're just talking about this green alone.
Just this green alone. Once the clay was contoured and made in a configuration that we wanted the green to be, then we survey it and keep track of the original shape of the fill underneath. Then as we go along, we put our layers in. First we drain tile the clay, and every 20 feet we put a 4-inch corrugated drain tile with backfilled in P-rock. Then over the top of that we put a 4-inch layer of the P-rock that you see right here. So by doing the 4 inches, by having the original contour and keeping track of it with all these stakes, we literally just build these greens up layer by layer. Now this one is completed. The P-rock and the drain tile is installed underneath it. Our next step is to put a very fine, well, it's not a fine, it's a fine rock or a coarse gravel, however you want to look at it. And we put a 2-inch layer of that over the top of all this. And the reason for that is so that your soil mix particles don't leach down and seal up these P-rock layers. It's a sealing layer. The soil particles cannot get through that sealing layer. So this will always drain, in other words.
You always have like an air vent kind of type underneath.
Well, it's not an air vent as it is an escape for the water. And the soil mixes retain water faster or more than the rock will. So the rock will take away any excess water. So any moisture that's up in the soil mix itself is never saturated, because all the saturation will go out down. Once the coarse gravel is put on here, then we put in 12 inches of a special soil mix. And that is 85% of our topsoil, 15% special sand. And we've mixed all those topsoils already. Soil mixes. We'll truck it in here after we put the coarse gravel layer on and shove it on with a small dozer. And we can do the coarse gravel layer in about 3 hours, and we can have all the black dirt on and finished graded in 1 day. It takes about 1 day. So this green, from where it's sitting right now as we speak, is about, and if it doesn't storm the way it looks like it probably will, we'll have it done by Friday. So this is the 8th green we've done. We've already completed the 7th. This will be the 8th. We have 1 more to do, and they've all come out very well. We haven't had any problems.
Do you seed or sod?
We'll seed these. When we're all done, we'll go in and till them up deep. Take a packer to them, make sure that there's no settling in them. If we have to add soil mixes in some areas, we will. If not, then we go in with all our soil amendments, our sulfur, magnesiums, iron, fertilizers, miners. Very thorough soil testing was done before we know what amendments we have to make. We'll till that in the top 3 inches, pack it again, it'll come right in with the trillion seeded and seeded. And after it's packed and seeded, we'll have the irrigation. You'll see germination in anywhere from 7 days. We're hoping to. The main thing is to get all the greens done and get the irrigation in, so that when we seed, we can water. We would never want to waste the money or the time for seeding without having the irrigation ready. We still have that step to do, but today is, I'm not sure what the date is, middle of July.
It's the 18th.
The 18th of July, if we can get these done by the end of July and get the irrigation in by mid-August, we're well on schedule.
Good.
So the next time we see this one, it will be complete.
The next time, I hope so, unless you come back yet tonight or early tomorrow. Yeah, it'll be done.
This is number 15, is that right?
15, it's a 198-yard par 3 for the championship, for the back tees, and the regular men's tees. That plays dead into the south wind, so the prevailing wind will prevail. I will guarantee you on this hole.
The tee box is into the south wind, you said?
Yes, it plays directly straight south.
And it's right over there, is that correct?
You bet. The flat mountain you see on top of the hill there, just to the right of the nose, but not back that far. That's only 100
This is the number 15 green that we were on earlier, but this is September 10th now. And this is all finished, seeded, and like Chink said, it's directly into the south wind. It'll be a very interesting green, I think. There's been a lot of progress made since we've been here, but we wanted to come back to where we finished the last taping. So, the irrigation system is not all in yet, but they have been running water to some of these greens. Some of them already are turning a little bit on the green side. We'll go down and look at some of the other ones for later. This is the pump house. Earlier you have seen them lowering and putting in the pump station, and this is the building that's put around it. What we'll do is go open the door and give you a peek at the inside to see how big a pump we have for the systems. This is the pumping station now. It's all surrounded by a nice building. It's not running at the time, but you can get some idea of how top class we're getting at Hartford right now.
This is really high test, isn't it?
The Cadillac, they said.
All right, we deserve a Cadillac.
This is number 13 green that we're standing on, and you can see some of the grass is already starting to come through. This has been planted for approximately, I think, about 8 or 9 days now. So it's looking good. And off into the west, across the lake, you can see a sunset. This is some of the view that we'll have when we're playing this hole. Hopefully no balls go in the lake. Now, from the sunset you can see this is 14 or number 4 fairway that we're following right now. Comes down by the lake. I'm sure you can see the pipe for the irrigation system. It's right up here to the green. Right behind the pump house. This is part of number 12 fairway. Most of the irrigation system has been put in, but we'll run into it right about there. Now that's where I think they quit for the evening there. Little dog leg to the right. Very interesting hole, I'm sure, when it's done.
Here's a man who can tell us a little more about what's going on.
It's pretty complicated right now. A lot of pipe and a lot of irrigation.
We noticed that.
Trying to put seed in the ground, finish grade, and do it all simultaneously and beat Mother Nature.
Are we going to get the job done?
Oh, I think we'll get all seeded. We're going to see a lot of growth in some areas, especially the areas where we don't have water to. We're going to seed it all. Seed doesn't grow in the shop in the bag. Put it in the ground late in the fall.
Hopefully it grows in the spring, right?
Well, they always say in the grass turf business, it always works out. You just get it out there, it'll grow.
Well, good. Thanks.
Bed grass in the work. All right, this is number 5 green. He seeded 2 weeks ago Sunday. Today is Monday, so 15 days the seed was in the ground. But we had growth 4 days after we started watering. So it was in the ground for several days, and then once we got water to it, we had growth and germination in 4 days. The problem is we're working with a hose set up instead of our automatic sprinklers. They're coming. The lines are in for that. It's a matter of getting them placed in the ground. The other thing is we've had no rain bags moist. Get these hot, dry days with the wind like it is now, it's still probably 75 degrees at 8 o'clock at night. Going in the second week of September, that's very odd.
Sure, it's bad growing grass.
Only bad because it hasn't rained. If it would have rained through this, it'd be fine. But it's a very dry thing. It's hard to do with irrigation. And what you see here is just the beginning. If we get some rain, we could really have a lot of growth.
But this is the first planted and
Yep.
the first green grass.
Yep. Yeah, and we do have 2 more that are, maybe 2-3 days behind this as far as establishment. They look pretty good. They're got a little better overall stand on a couple of the others, but don't have the growth like we have right here.
We're really hoping there's some fall rains and maybe a heavy winter.
We could use fall rains and a warm fall, but we need the fall rains.
Which green are we on here?
We're on number 5.
Okay.
It's plays from my back from the east. And it's a hole to stay below the hole. It's not a green to get above the hole.
Off to your backside there, is this going to be a sand trap or just a bunker that you're going to grass bunker?
That'll be a sand bunker, the whole thing. Yep. What we'll do is we'll go in there with a small blade on a tractor and we'll carve out the exact shape in the middle and use whatever excess fill from the sides is left to put in the bottom. Just to hollow it out, give it the bowl shape. And then it's a matter of just hauling sand, pulling it up to the edges. We'll probably end up sodding the edges to get a straight edge on it versus establishing it. Those are things you do just before you open it.
Yeah, make it a little tougher. Right?
Yeah, you don't have to worry about it now because nobody's playing it. It's not in play, but as soon as the golf course opens, that'll have to be spruced up and put into play.
Good. All this has been, none of this has been seeded as far as fairways, right?
Well, no. All of the number 5 landing area, all the way over to where you see the white pipe around the and we're watered.
And what type of grass did you put in there?
It's a blend of 4 different varieties of hybrid Kentucky bluegrass. So it's a pure Kentucky bluegrass, but different variety.
Got a good start. Not
Well,
as much as you wanted to, probably.
No, we'd like to have the whole thing done right now. It's not, so we're gonna just keep on with the same program. We're gonna get the seed in the ground. It just won't grow in the bag laying in the shop.
That's true.
We're gonna put it in the ground and everything will turn out just fine.
Oh yeah, we'll do a good job.
Jimmy Ryder, his dad, Gene Ryder, built the original 9. And we're using their seeder to seed this golf course. They're actually brilliant seeder. And his advice to me was put the seed in the ground because, everything always seems to work out. And proof of that is over there because that was seeded with no irrigation. It was end gate seeded, was done in several days, and it turned out just fine.
Great course.
We'll run by that philosophy, their philosophy they established the first.
This is July 4th, 1991. As you can see, there are people enjoying the game of golf. And within a month, there will be people playing over here. Last fall we showed you the start of this green. Now as you can see, it's just about ready to have the flag put up. A lot has happened in a year.
This is number 5 green. You're looking at it now. It's par 4. I think you'll have to play down a little dog leg to the right here. We'll go up the fairway a little bit. closer look. That's the green. We'll go out there and take a look at it. This is looking back down 14 fairway. Okay, this is when you enter into 14 green. Okay, over here, which we're still standing on 14 green and looking back. This is number 4. Remember, this is the one that comes down the homeowners. That's looking down the fairway. The lake is on the right. It shouldn't come into play.
And the waterman's supposed to show up 4:30 a.m. this morning, never showed, never called, nothing.
Okay, we're on the east side of the lake looking at number 13 green right now. Let's see, Mike's running down the fairway right now. Around the lake. Back up to the tee box. It's 13 and 14 tee box, or 13 and 4 tee box. This is 13 green. Give you an idea kind of the rolls of the green. Here's the green. Here's the lake, not too far away. Again, standing on 13 green right now, looking down to the back side of number 5 green. Definitely don't want to go over. Tee box to 14. And there's the tee box to 12. Which one's right along the road. I don't know if you can pick it out or not, but that's the green in the background. This is 13 fairway again. I think we'll just go all the way around, just stand on 13 green there. There's the fairways to 5 and 14. Green for 5 up in the background. No, the
You know, as we stand here, it's really hard to believe that just 2 years ago we were up to our ankles in a bean field. And here we are, standing on a gorgeous new golf course. Some of you may have noticed the lack of trees on the new 9. Well, never fear. We'll take you to the nursery in a little bit and show you. There are 2 nurseries on the course. I'm not exactly sure how many trees are planted in these nurseries, but I'm sure that once they are planted on the course, we're going to enjoy each and every one. Okay, to give you some idea of the height of the trees right now, Mort's standing by one of the medium-sized trees, and it's about a 5-footer.
a little credit.
Give him a little credit. Okay, tree's about 5'4". There. Okay. One of these days we're going to be looking up to that one. Okay, I'll just pan around here. You can see there are some smaller ones, and then we do have some larger ones. Can't wait till they're in the ground on the course.
This is looking back down number 2 fairway towards the tee box. Par 4. Dog leg left.
Shouldn't it be a par 8?
With some grass bunkers. That's on the left side. Back over there behind the water, there's a green there. There's some other grass bunkers. These are on the right side. Now we'll go up and take a look at the green. Okay, we're on the south side of number 2 green right now. This is just some of the grass bunkers and stuff coming into the green. This is the green you got to come into. It's going to be a very challenging hole. I'm on the back side of number 2 green right now. Another one of those greens you wouldn't really want to go over. Grass, still get a better look at the grass bunkers coming in. Fairways in between, right through the water. This is number 3. I'm standing on the tee box. That's the ladies' tee box right in front of me. Straight hole, 500 plus yards. Wouldn't want to play it into a west wind. The green is if you can see the water running up there, is up behind the watering system that's there. We'll go take a look at it. Okay, this is number 13 green. Yeah, this is the backside of 13. There's the hole. Way. Well, let's see, like I said, 500 plus yards. I think it's like 540.
Okay, now here we are on number 4 tee box. We would be heading directly east. The lake. These are those twin tee boxes we showed you last year. Now we'll go over to 13. There's 4 tee box. We just came from there. As I said just a minute ago, they're twin tee boxes. This tee box is the number 13 tee box. You head out across, down around the lake, and end up somewhere down there where the water is. Where the sprinklers are going, I guess. You can see where there's a need for those trees we were showing you. Alright. Now we're looking at the number 12 green. We'll go get a better look at that. You can get a better look of those twin tee boxes. There was something else I wanted to point out to you now. This is the start of the cart paths. On Tuesday, the women are out here golfing and having our day, and a lot of the guys are over here rolling sod, cutting sod, working, and getting it ready to open. Now we'll go to 12. Mort just said this is a challenging green. I didn't see any that weren't. A lot of ups and downs, curves. Use whatever fancy terms you want. It looks really, really hard. A lot of ups and downs. Back where the sprinklers are is the tee box. Okay. Okay, just a few minutes ago we showed you the other nursery, which is located on the northeast corner of the new course. This nursery they planted last year, as they did the other one, is right down from the clubhouse. So you see, folks, we will have trees. We're standing on the tee box of the 17th hole. existing course. Does have a couple trees planted. It's a short hole, but it looks like it's going to be fun. Let's go down and take a look at the green. Here's a little closer look at the approach to number 17. There are 2 sand traps on either side, and it drops off in the back. I lied. I said there were 2 sand traps. There are 3. I told you there was a drop-off behind number 17. You sure don't want to go over, do you? Fun hole. It's going to be fun trying to figure out how these balls are going to make it in the hole. When I said we had 2 nurseries, I didn't realize that we have one more sitting over here on the west corner of the new addition. We'll just kind of pan down so you can get a better view of what it's going to look like from over here. Pretty nice.
I'm sitting here with Dean Bunce. Earlier we had Al Miley on telling us all about the original 9 start. And now I'd like to get Dean involved and he can tell us about some of the people, how the idea came up, and how it progressed into what we have now. So
Well, it all started with a few years ago, and this course was really busy. You couldn't get on it. And so when my dad was managing the clubhouse, and he heard lots of people talking about, well, why don't we build 9, you know? Why don't we do something about building another 9? So we sat down, and he was talking to me about it, and we come up with the idea that there's been some rumors around that there were people would be interested in buying some land and giving the rest of the golf so we could start a golf course. So I went on that idea, and I started asking people, and finally I got enough people interested in talking about it. I thought I'd try to call a special board meeting of board members, not a board meeting, but a membership meeting. And that was on December 3rd of '88. And we had over 80 people show up. I think it was something like 83, 84 people showed up. And really a good response. People really wanted something to happen. So they set up a committee of me, Chuck Lowry, Tom Stabell, Miles Schumacher, Nita Carey, and Mike Smith. And the board member that they put on there with us to oversee what we were doing was Joey Leisinger.
Did you, when you got all these people together, did you just go looking for land right away?
We had a couple options. We had the land that we are building on straight north of the existing golf course. We had land to the east of the highway, and east of number, it would be pretty far east of number 2, that was a proposal for us to try. And that got it out in San Diego, and I got a hold of him, and he just wasn't in the market for selling the land at the moment. If we kept, he said, you know, well, I'm not interested right now, but you know, if it's still an option, come back to me, and we'll talk to it for, you know, a little bit more. And in the meantime, we were under the understanding the guy to the north of us wasn't very eager to sell at all, and the price he would sell was pretty high. So I guess our next thing was we had to go talk to him. And so one night, it's probably in February or so, after we had a couple meetings with our committee and weren't quite knowing, we had to have a price from the guy before we started doing anything else. We couldn't do anything without knowing what he wanted to sell it for. So we went down and talked to guys, Roger Slutton, who lives north of Hartford, and he owned 80 acres right just north of where our existing course was. Went and talked to him. He come over. Me and Chuck and Joey met him, sat down, had a good conversation with him, and he gave us a price. So we went to our next meeting and went with that price. And you know, just seeing what we had to do. So we and how much money was to divide, because our major plan was to have 20 plots of land to sell. So we got a price, so we knew what we had to charge for the 20 lots to buy the land.
So then you, how long did it take to really get 20 people interested in buying the plots?
Well, we come up with, so that was in February, and I think it was the early bird party, the night of the early bird party, I had 19 sold. And so that was like in April, first part of April, first week in April. And that night I had 3 people walk up to me and say they would want it. And the first person that walked up, I told him it was his. I said, oh, you know, it's yours. I'll go get you a purchase agreement. And before I got the purchase agreement to him, 2 more people walked up and said, well, I would be interested. I said, it's already been sold. And so they were kind of put on a waiting list. They were, you know, they wanted, if there was a chance that any of the 20 would back out, they wanted in. So it took me a long time, a lot of work to get 19. Then all of a sudden 20, just like boom, I got 3 people. But it worked out good. I think the corporation that they got up there has a good 20 members. I guess it's down to 19 now, but it's a good group of guys and women.
And everything just progressed from there.
Yeah, we had a tough struggle with the county commission and the city of Hartford. There was a pretty good battles. I went to a lot of their meetings, and we did a lot of work on a lot of the stuff for zoning and stuff like that to get them things planned stopped.
Now, if I understand right, that's all in the city now, right? Part of Hartford?
Yep. As soon as the city took all the land in to the city for sewer purposes, we had to have that for those 20 acres to be in, and we tried to take just the homeowners, but as it ended up, the city voted to take in a big portion of the area around here. They took in all the way over the highway to the east of here, north of the new golf course, all the way over to where the Wall Lake Road is, straight over, and then down all the way to the interstate, and then straight down on the east all the way to the interstate. So they decided to take in a whole big chunk of land, and instead of just taking a little bit of what we wanted them to take, they decided to really go with a big expansion.
Well, you guys had a lot of hours, and I'm sure everybody appreciates the work that you guys did. And, you know, I'm sure it was several nights.
It was several nights and several Budweisers that took to get this thing under control. But I think it worked out really good. I'm really happy. I'm really surprised how good it came out and how everything's coming out, and how so far, probably should knock on wood, nothing's gone wrong.
Well, I'm really impressed with the course and the work that you people did. It was great.
Thank you.
Do you have anything else?
Good morning. This is Saturday, August 10th, 1991. For 2 years we've been showing you the progress on this course. This is the morning that we have the grand opening at Central Valley, 18 holes. This will still remain number 1 tee box, but very little else is the same. The one thing that is the same in Central Valley, the people who started this course years ago were really good people who dedicated themselves and gave a lot of time and energy. The people who worked on this new expansion are also the same kind of people. We've got a wonderful...
Good morning, JB! Good morning! Use the bullhorn. I'm hard to hear you.
Good morning, everybody. We want to welcome friends, neighbors, and members. It's been a long time coming at times, but it did go quickly. I just want to thank the board that served with me over the last 3 years. It's been some long hours, a lot of meetings, and I want to thank the spouses for their understanding. Yes? I guess we started, some of the senior members, I should say, senior members of the club, were chit-chatting 4 years ago about extending this to another 9 holes to an 18. And somebody came up with, well, put your money where your mouth is. They did. We did, and here we are. So at this time, I'd like to call on Mr. Miley for a couple words.
This is going to be fast as far as I'm concerned. Got a few people to thank. First one is we got to thank the Lord for all the rain, and the nice thing is, funny thing now, on this course we had the same blessing that we had on the other course. Once we got the seed in the ground in 1968, 69, it rained for 30, we had some kind of moisture for 30 straight days after Labor Day. So I want to thank Mike and his crew for all their work and dedication and diligence in working here. I want to thank the members, the ones that give freely of their time and money for getting us started. I want to thank Western Bank for having faith in us. It took, I think it took some gumption, some backbone to have faith in us, and I think they're going to see it pay off. Also want to thank the 5 original starters of the golf course. I'm not going to mention names. I want to thank the 8 guys that had the wherewithal and the faith in us to buy up the loan from the, I'll say this wrong, help me John Roars, FMHA? Yeah. Is that right? Right. Okay, from the farm home before, so we could get started on the 18 over there. I want to thank the 20 people that gave their 3 acres, the 20 people that bought the land over there and gave the club 3 acres apiece. All the volunteers, we thank you. We thank you, and we thank you. We can't thank you enough because there will still be many hours of work left. And all of our employees who worked above and beyond their call. At this time, I'd like to introduce Mr. Don Berry, who is president of the City Council, who will be standing in for John Edberg, our mayor. Don Berry. He will introduce the council members.
As representing the city of Hartford, we really are happy to accept you people in our city limits, and we also want to congratulate you on your opening day. The members of, I don't know if any of our members are here, Vice President Helen Gebert, Siri Jensen, Corrine Maskey, Jack Vesey, John Edberg, our mayor. He couldn't be here. I'm representing him. How about Cecil Binger, our financial secretary? And last but not least, Pat Lacey, our city attorney. 1969, I walked into the community bank to borrow some money, and Burl Doss was in the bank at the time. When I got my money, he added an extra $100, and I said, "What's that?" He said, "You are now a member of Central Valley Golf Course." And I wasn't the only victim. I'd say about 25 or 30 members got in the course the same way. When this place was first bought, my father-in-law bought this whole piece of ground in one chunk, and then the same day the business was transacted to where the golf course got this. But I wished we could have had some pictures of it. If you'd have seen this rock quarry, you wouldn't believe it. couldn't get a plow on the ground. That's how the rocks were. We picked rocks, picked rocks, picked rocks. Volunteers come out here every night of the week with flatbeds. It's unbelievable to look out of that window and see this today. I done all the trenching here when we put the sprinkling system in. The pipe was all laid by volunteers. There was not $1 invested in labor in the pipe. I'm not going to hold you up too much longer, but again, I want to congratulate you people on the fine golf course that you've got here, and I'm happy that we finally got you in our clutches down in City Hall. That's going to help us a little bit. I got to tell you a little bit about that dugout on the back side here, how that got started. Mr. Doss and I was down there one day, and both of our balls got down there in the other end, and we had trouble teeing off. We were there for quite a while. And about a week later, them holes filled up with water, and they decided to dig a dugout there. So that's when I give up golfing. I want to welcome all you people here, and I want to thank you for inviting the city here to represent you. Have a good day.
Thank you, Donald. Before we go any further, I'd like to thank the two people that are in charge of today's festivities, Jim Stabell and Helen Langdon. Here's Helen Langdon here in the lovely and our president will introduce everybody else that's on that committee. At this time, it is indeed a pleasure on my part to thank the Western Bank people, who will be represented by the president, Mr. T.J. Reardon, in just a moment. But I also want to thank Dwayne Albers, who couldn't be here, who was really the go-between between Evan Engelbretson and ourselves. And Western Bank has been most generous with their wherewithal, and we're hoping just sometime down the avenue we can say to the note, well, just send you a thank you note, and thanks for the opportunity. At this time, I'd like to introduce the president of Western Bank, T.J. Reardon.
Whoever had the responsibility for picking this day and working with the good Lord, I'd like to know who you are, because from time to time we have to orchestrate outings like this, and a more perfect day I don't think you could have. A number of years ago, 4 or so, a number of people came to us and with an idea. And while perhaps the idea didn't fly as it was first presented, we were able to work together, and I have to congratulate those people, the board of directors, and ultimately the membership for having the foresight to see the opportunity that you all saw by extending the course and going for 18 holes. I believe that this expansion is a sort of catalyst that is propelling Hartford into progressive activities, rural water, the new school activities, to name a few, the post office. And we're just excited to be part of this community, this golf course, and I'm anxious too, Al, for the day when that note is all paid off, and we'll thank you too. Have a great day.
TJ, we need you to, I guess, cut the ribbon, please, if you would.
Jim? Jim?
Mike Smith, front and forward, please.
I just
just got a couple things to say. Appreciate the chance to build a golf course and design one. It was a true test, both of my patience and I guess of wanting to see it completed. It's done. I'm extremely proud of it, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I hope you will. As far as some of the rules, it'll be over there. We've got some water. It's painted. It's a lateral hazard. I think most of you know how to play those. There's a lot of out of bounds, and on your homeowner's card or on your scorecard, you'll see the homeowner's property, and there'll be corresponding stakes up there, and that's an OB. There's a lot of it. So I want you to be aware that it's out there. Also, the outer perimeter of the golf course is OB. It's not staked at this time. We'll get it done for the men's club tournament, or for the men's guest day. But for this time, if you're not in a closely mown area, basically you're out of bounds. You've got some mulligans. Use them there as best you can. It's a great day. It really is. Thank you.
Okay, right now we'd like to draw for our balloon ride. First of all, I'd like to say we need to thank Dave and Dee Rose, who have donated the balloon ride today, as they're part of a donation for raising some money for our new 9. The reason we're going to draw this morning is David has probably just a couple of things he'd like to say to the lucky person who's won the ride. I'm going to ask Marlene Torsdahl to come up because she's been instrumental today in selling many more tickets. So we're going to draw for the balloon.
I can't see. Nothing. All right. Well, just a minute. Okay, I have the lucky person. Dear Ellen. And I don't know.
Verna Hookman. Okay, fine.
She is over here, Dave.
Okay, great, thanks. I just have a couple of announcements I'd like to make before we turn this over to Jim. There's going to be a refreshment cart sitting on number 6. It's an honor system today, and we all know how that works for your beer and pop and treats that they might have there. Donna is going to provide a cart on the new 9. There will be a rider with that, so you can buy refreshments. There's going to be sandwiches, brats, pork sandwiches, and so forth up here at the clubhouse that you can buy throughout the day as you come up by this area. I think that's probably all I need to say. I'm going to turn this over to Jim Stabell, who's going to get us started so we can play golf. Jim?
Good morning. I hope everything goes right here today. We've tried to do this thing in the best fair way that we can. I know that there might be some times that some people felt that it should have been the other way, but a decision was made to do it the way we're going to do it, and I hope that everybody will agree to it. I was up at the course this morning. I put the flag prizes out on different holes, and the course is beautiful. We've got some flag prizes. You'll have a slip like this tacked right on your card as you get it, and it'll tell you pretty much where these flag prizes are. I could mention them now and save some time. What we'd also like to have to do is if you would, we've got some things that we'd like. We've got a lot of prizes to give away this afternoon, and we would like to have you record on the back of your card if you've got some in the out of bounds, sand traps, and water. Anytime you've got this, record the number of times that you might have been in a sand trap, or the number of times that you were in the water, or the number of times you were out of bounds on a tee shot. We'd kind of like to know that. We'd just like to have you write the person's name and the number of times on the back of the scorecard. Is there any questions so far? Where these flag prizes are, they're going to be closest to the pin for the men on number 8 and number 15. Closest to the pin for the ladies is going to be on number 6 and 17. The longest putt on number 5 and 7 for the men. Longest putt for the ladies will be on 12 and 18. That's about all we've got on this particular sheet, but just in case you forget what they were, there's going to be one right on the back of your scorecard. I always forget everything I want to say. A few things that I would like to have you do today. It isn't required or anything else, but if it starts stacking up on the course any place, we'd like to have you invite the people that are sitting there with you on number 8 tee box out here, for instance. If they're sitting there waiting for them, tell them to be ready, because you can invite them to tee off when they all reach the green. It might speed things up a little bit. There's a question sometimes to people whether it does or whether it doesn't. It's not required that you do, but if you want to, tell them to be ready, that you will give them the high sign. And then if everybody is ready, why, it won't take but 3-4 minutes and you'll be gone. So do this if you can. If you see a hole that's stacking up, we've got a lot of groups out here today. We've got 40 groups of 4, and I've got 2 singles that we never ever did get someone to play with. So what I've told everybody is, Denny Kent is one of them. He says it's going to be awful slow playing in the twosome. We tried to stay away from fivesomes, but if someone, I don't want to be the one to say if it's right or wrong, wants to invite one of these guys in to play, I don't think it's going to make a whole lot of difference, but I don't want to say this. And those guys are standing out here liking to play if they could. So if there's a question with that of anybody, please speak up now. I would like to get it resolved right away. But I'd like to have a foursome, just invite one of these guys along if it's possible to do this. Another thing I'd like to have you do to speed things up today is play ready golf. If you've got a group and you're all by yourself across the fairway and someone else is lost out of bounds on the other side, go ahead and hit your ball before you go over there and help find that ball. Or it's not lost, just lost, can't find it. It'll speed up play if you just play ready golf. Get your shot out there before you go over and help someone find their ball. If the last person, if you know you're the last person playing number 17, please bring in the flag. And that goes for all the other holes too. And we'd appreciate it if you'd bring them over to where my van is parked over here. That's where the score sheets and everything will be posted later this afternoon. Just give it to one of the members of the committee so we get this thing so we can tie it down to someone. Before we get to drawing these things out, I want you to, I hope things move slowly. Take your time, relax, and have a good time. I was up there, again, like I say, the manager of this course, the guy that works on it, the grassmaster, I call him, has got the course in beautiful shape. And there is one thing I can beat him at. That's maybe out of a beer, but I couldn't beat him by growing grass. Thanks, Jink. Okay. One last announcement is the committee, everyone included, will deal with all complaints as quickly and as painlessly as possible. There is one thing that didn't come, and that was this AK-47 that we ordered that didn't get here. So what I did, I brought along a dull axe. So that's the way we take care of them things. up here, and maybe one other gal from the committee, Helen, and we'll get this thing going. And what I would like to do, I don't know how long it's going to take people to find their box out here, because there's going to be all new ones out here. So what I would like to do is, we don't have a shotgun to start this thing, but kind of keep watching around, and if you see everything is pretty well settled down, I would like to make sure that this thing is on way by 11 o'clock. It's 10:35 right now. I don't see any reason why we can't do that. Just start playing. Anybody got a question about this thing so far? Is there somebody here from the grounds committee? There's a question right now. Is it going to be summer or winter rules?
Jake will take it.
Jake, would you come up here and help me with this?
As far as summer and winter rules, we'll play this side, the existing 9, as we always have. Summer rules. That'll, except for number 17 up here, this side will be played just the way it always has been. On any of the new golf holes, whether you're in the rough or the fairway or around the green, if you feel that July is unsatisfactory, and you're going to get some, there's some areas that aren't been washed early in the year. If you get in one of those areas, just pick your ball up and drop it. And if it still don't think it's good, pick it up and drop it again. You know, what we're trying to avoid is letting everybody get back into the habit of rolling the golf ball. We'll allow you to drop out of those bad areas and get the best lie that that drop affords. As far as cart paths and carts, there are roads leading from this side to the other side. We've got some signs up kind of trying to shuttle the carts to the next tee boxes. Just keep a look at your map on your scorecard, and it's pretty self-explanatory. When you get up there is how to get around. There are a couple cart paths on 12 and 13. They do not have rock in them. They're just dirt right now. You can surely use them in those areas. We're going to close them up on Monday because we'll be irrigating again, and once they get muddy, naturally we can't have carts on them until we get the rock put in them. So basically, just use common sense. Stay away from the greens, you know, around the greens. Crossing fairways is fine. Driving in the roughs is fine. Basically, just you know, use your common sense in the golf cart use out there. I don't think you'll have any problems getting around. It's just a little rough in some areas, so hang on, I guess, if you got to speed.
Okay, you guys are what, the original committee that started this now? And,
yeah. With the original idea.
And the original idea, and the number 18, I see. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a proud day for all you guys. You did a hell of a job.
Yes, it is. Mort.
Anything you want to say to the camera, how excited you are? And
yes.
Let's just play golf.
I think it's a great day. I think that if I shoot 100 today, it's still the best round of my life. I really do.
Well, and he's running for mayor this fall, and he'd appreciate your vote.
all I'm going to see out here today is what it's going to look like in 20 years.
thanks a lot, fellas.
Yeah.
Thank you.